is Slim.
Drop a wallet!
This is Chili. And I'm Soph. We live aboard our floating home Nakama. And the last few months, home for us has been island hopping around the coral coast of Australia. Following a recent decision to head south for summer, avoiding the cyclone season, we have found ourselves facing the never-ending list of boat jobs and crossing them off. How does this work? To only find weasels! Nothing I'd rather do on a Friday night. Hi.
Been in coughs for well over a month now. We've always sort of managed to get by on the absolute bare minimum of things, and we've always knick-knacked everything together pretty dodgily, but we sort of hasn't been working out for us this time. So yesterday we went to leave for the 4th time from Coffs Harbour, and yeah, we can't leave here. Something doesn't want us to go.
We have to reevaluate our plans, and we thought that instead of like rushing off and trying to get places with a boat that's just put together, it's only a matter of time before something else stops us in our tracks.
When we first decided to head off up the Coral Coast, I basically quit my job and we had a few weeks between when the antifouling was booked in and everything else to get Nakama in order, which we did. We got her to that scrape across the line point, but then during that trip as well, we lost some things, and we've just managed to maintain just that scraping across the line sort of level of functionality to Nakama. I think we've decided to sort of put the brakes on a bit and try and catch up on all that boat work we needed to do.
We're just going to try and focus on getting her looking pretty schmick, getting her sorted.
So what we've been looking at this morning while writing lists that go on, and you're reading lists going, that's going to cost money, that's going to cost money, that's going to cost money. We've been doing that while looking at this expensive little catalogue here, which they provide you for free, which is almost a joke.
It's a trap.
Finally going to get those bilge pumps fixed. We've got a bit of like mould in some of the interior wood. That's on the to-do list. AIS radio.
Chart plotter. We're going to step out of the 1970s and hop into
painting.
The new era of 2021.
Polishing! So
the first thing I think we're going to do is neaten up all the wires we've got going on, because everything's a mess. Our wiring is a mess. We do wiring and do a job, but then it's always in a rush for something that we want. We do it really quickly, but then we don't actually like finish it off properly to make it neat and tidy. So that, I think, is going to be the first thing that we do.
Also, I think we just got to fix up a whole bunch of the connections, because generally speaking, when I'm connecting all the wiring, we either don't have any connectors, we certainly don't have a crimping tool, so it's me with a pair of pliers. Just like the random assortment of different connections that would be in the bottom of our toolbox is what gets used. Some of our wiring is literally just like spliced together and wrapped in electrical tape from a $2 shop. We're just going to go through and try and fix up some of those more dodgy style connections. One of the first things I got to do to neaten up the wiring, I need it to be able to get around where this bilge pump is. This bilge pump currently doesn't work. I need to like detach the broken bilge pump to then run the wiring neatly this time around it, not just like, oh, there's a broken bilge pump there and I want an auto helm, so I'm just going to run it through it. Bilge pump's a brick though. So this end was attached to the bilge pump, but it's been snapped. Just got to neaten this up. Hopefully there's still enough hose left and reattach it. It's pretty tight, but it fit. Now I just got to somehow get it back up and get these bolts through it. Back in the cupboards. We weren't out of the cupboard for very long. Success! We've got the manual bilge pump working, so reattached it, redone all the piping, and I found the pipe down here and just like unsnapped a section of it and then unclogged the other section, and now it's working. And then there's 2 electric ones sitting down in what used to be the puddle down here. This old one, I was like, is that even the bilge pump? And I cleaned off some algae. I'm like, yeah, rule.
I didn't know there was 2.
There's 2. I'm gonna fiddle around in this greasy, diesely, oily bilge water for a while. Oh, is there something else? Nah. Had this really snazzy plan to get like a little before and after shot view, but we forgot because we got carried away with actually doing our work. But this locker, it was just bilge pump and stuff all through there and random cords, and now we're just trying to get the actual wires that we're doing stuff into this little core flute pipe, and we really just don't want anything going wrong with the auto helm again, so we want to get all that wiring out because we're constantly using this locker and we're throwing like fenders and whatnot in there and salty things. Fast forward, but we've got one of them off. Looks pretty brutal. I can't get to the wires yet. It all runs through bilge water. No wonder none of this was working. Anyway, I'm just going to try and get all this stuff out and we'll try again. That's connected to that. That's connected to nothing. This stuff always reminds me of The Simpsons doctor. This one's connected to that thing. The other thing's connected to the
red thing. The red thing's connected to my wristwatch.
Alright, so I've just cleaned them all back and I've run some water through them. It seems to be doing fine, so I'm just going to test if they actually work now. They're probably negatives and positive with a stripe. Negatives and... yeah.
It works.
2 working bilge pumps. So every time I'm in here, we try and just rip out a bit of old wiring. There's all these old switches we found that weren't working and fuses that have been blown and whatnot. There's an old blower fan. In my little adventures of the wires, found a switch that belonged to it, and then I found the old wires to a different spot. Anyway, I cut the wires back and I've got this extender thing on. Just clipped it on there. And then have a look, wait up, make sure it's the right way around. Have a look at this. You probably can't see anything, you'll hear it. Ready? Hey! The blower fan works! Well, like not yet, but it can work. I just gotta like jimmy up a little switch and stuff. All of that came from in there and in here. We are getting there, slowly and painfully. This is our mate Greg. He's actually qualified in electricity, so I thought I'd call him in for his expertise. It's taken so long to get that done. Follow me. Look at this. All of that. And that. You're kidding. That was all sitting on top of those batteries. That amount of wire there, that's the second time I've actually done that. So it's taken like, I don't know, the better part of 2 days to get all that out and figure out what it was doing. And then Greg came over once I'd ripped the majority of that out, and there was a few wires I was just a little bit sus on and like whether or not I could pull them out and what they were actually doing, and gave some pointers and helped us out for a few hours today too, which has been an immensely amazing, and I'm really grateful for that help.
So, in the midst of all the madness, I had grand plans of mushroom risotto for dinner. I poured in the risotto rice to only find weasels in my rice. So, I'm now trying to salvage dinner. I don't know what I'm going to cook now because I don't have any risotto rice left. We've got weasels in this one. I'll try and find a weasel. Oh, there's one.
There's one.
There's one. They're all in there, and there's lots of dead ones now in my mushrooms. Hot tip, if you're keeping your dry food in just its normal packet, don't put it into like a sealed jar or container so weasels can't get in. I swear multiple times they've ruined my cooking. I know, I just haven't learnt yet. Simon just refrained from telling me that they're not called weasels, they're called weevils. Weevils, that's what I'm talking about. Weevils, not weasels. They ruined everything! Hi, welcome to the galley. This is where things will happen today. I desperately need to do the timber work in the galley, basically all over the boat, really. We've got a serious case of that like black mold, so like wherever the varnish has just, you know, faded away or come off, it's now moldy. So I'm going to be tackling that. It's predominantly bad in the kitchen, especially around the sink, because that's where obviously it's been wet. It's one of those jobs that is very overwhelming and I'm not exactly sure where to start, but also I feel like you just need to pick a spot and start. So we've had the dehumidifier on like basically all weekend, just trying to dry everything out the best we could. So that's this thing back here, good old dehum. So let's do it. Let's do that preview before shot that they have like on the block and stuff, you know, like the before shots. So I'm gonna do that now. So Mitcho has lent us his sander and this like vacuum thing. The first thing is trying to work out how these connect and do what. I don't understand this in particular. I do know how sanders work, I just like don't understand how they are one, you know. So Mitch, how does this work? This is a sander and this plugs into this. And she's done it, ladies and gentlemen. She has done it. Now it's like I have to keep going, right? Yeah. I didn't realise it was going to be so loud. I didn't expect it to be so loud. I thought it would be like a pleasant sanding, but it's not pleasant. So I've just fully realised that I should probably be wearing a mask while I do this, because it's quite dusty, and I was like, oh, the dust is fine because it's wood, it shouldn't be that bad. And then I was like, oh, but it's got varnish on it and that's not good for you. So I've got a mask. Well, actually it's not proper, but it'll have to do for the moment. We don't have any like working masks, so I've got like this medical mask that I had to use the other day to go to the airport. I just got a call from one of those tax scammer things where they call you up and tell you that you're basically going to be arrested if you don't do stuff, but they like pretend to be like the taxation department of Australia. So that was funny, but it was like an automatic thing, so it's like if I was actually going to be arrested, then I'm sure a normal human being would talk to me about it. I think I'm starting to realise that this is like a way bigger of a dog. Way bigger of a job than I thought it was. I'm just starting to really notice all the wood that could be sanded back. I think at the moment I'm just feeling a little bit overwhelmed with with this, what I've created, what I've started, and I've come so far that I'm like, I'm too far deep to go back, so I'm like, I'm fully committed now, and it's terrifying. How are you going, Jill? Sanding the bits and pieces. So the lid, the second sink lid, that needs doing as well. Who decided to show up?
Yeah.
He only came for a beer, not me.
I've been put to work now. I want to sand it. I haven't had a go. It'd be fun. I haven't had a go.
Have a go.
I've been staring at it. Was that chilly? No. I've been staring at a stupid computer all day, and you've been getting to play with the sander.
It hasn't been exhilarating, let's just say that.
It's been more exhilarating than reading cases. Not as exhilarating as that though. Cheers, Knock, just hold my beer. Oh, it's not really left-handed, is it? You got this. Yeah, I was just saying to Soph, definitely wish we had one of these bad boys right here when we did the anti-fouling. What do you reckon, babe?
Yes, would have been so much quicker.
Probably definitely a worthy investment. If you haven't seen that video, we had to completely, we didn't have to, we probably could have spent the extra $100 and bought one of these, but we spent 2 days completely scrubbing Nakama down, sanding her down by hand. Maybe we'll leave a link to that in the description below. Definitely gonna have one of these in my hands next time we're anti-fouling Nakama, that's for sure.
Good morning! It's the next day. It's so bloody hot today, so humid. But this morning we're going to start off by saying our goodbyes to Miles, our good friend on the Veneto. He's leaving, he's going south, he's beating us, he bet us out in the end. Not that it was a competition.
I'm making a mayonnaise and sprout sandwich with a little bit of a soggy cucumber I found in the bottom of the empty fridge. The sprouts are a bit soggy too. It
looks like something you'd get from a cafe. As soon as you put sprouts on something, bam, there you go.
Cafe.
$15 from a cafe.
This is our very highly hard to function in kitchen at the moment.
They would call it one disaster. One disaster. 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 Disaster.
I'm going to run away because I hate the word disaster, but also there's no way in hell I can do this assessment in this construction site. That's your kid.
Yes, those are our dishes, just sitting there, waiting patiently.
Oh no. See you in a couple of weeks.
See you soon, mate. See you soon.
Woo! What have you done? So I've dropped her coffee.
I was holding it by the lid and then it just slipped. I'm sorry if this is the wrong thing to do, but it will break down. Came with a coffee and left with a lid. Simon's got to go to the library and they're still not going until like another half an hour. So Simon said goodbye and then they're just going to yell over to me when they're actually off, and then I'll run around and make sure they leave.
Make sure they leave.
Mitch has also lent us a multi-tool. How do I attach that to that? How do I do this? Do you need an Allen key? Do you need an Allen key to get that off? Let's try that. So this is gonna let me get into all the little different crevices and stuff. So there was only so much I could do with the big sander, surprisingly. It didn't really let me do a lot because everything's just so squishy and small. Oh my god. Day 2. I just saw Miles's mask go like this out, so I think they're getting fuel. I'm gonna go run over and see if I can say goodbye. Let's go. Safe travels. We'll see you soon.
See you soon.
It is such a hot day. Man, can I just say how jealous I am of those guys? It's just such a beautiful day. They're gonna have a stunning time out there. I've got to make cover to go over the little cupboard there so I'm not like wiping out sawdust, sand dust, wood dust, varnish dust. I'll be wiping out varnish dust for the next 10 years otherwise. I've just got like some blue tack that I'm just gonna like blue tack this around the edge to hopefully stop some of the wood dust, varnish dust, sawdust from getting in. It's proving to be extremely difficult to get into these spots around the sink, so I'm going in with my 2 hands and a bit of sandpaper. Is anyone else hungry? I'm so hungry. It's just like a bit hard to cook in a kitchen that's just covered in varnish dust, wood dust.
Get arrested, kindly press 1. I repeat, press 1 to know about your legal case. Thank you.
Another call! Maybe I am getting arrested. I'm gonna make some lunch, I'm so hungry, and what's the time? It's 12:08! It's lunchtime! I love it when it gets to 12 o'clock because I'm like, I can eat again! Look at this holy bit of bread. What's going on, kitty cat? Did everyone know that Chili is a cat? I know. You wouldn't think so, but look at it. Look at it. It's a full cat. What did I say? As soon as you put sprouts on, $15 from a cafe, thank you. You're welcome. I think I'm ready to move down to the 180 grit, the finer sandpaper. The vacuum battery died. I think I've finished the sanding. I'm just gonna do a clean up and wipe down all the surfaces and try and get the dust out.
I never knew these flowered. How cool are they?
I didn't know they did that.
So maybe it's like changed sex or something. Anyway, I don't know enough about plants. How cool are the flowers though?
I now have crazy wood dust boogers, if anyone wants to know. Hello and welcome to day number 3 of varnishing. I'm just starting to tape everything up. It's been really hard to work in the kitchen the last couple of days, trying not to get things wet. Really hard. So we're using the hose outside to do our dishes. We have made a couple of mistakes. Do you want me to... It's just like a pot of water has drips on it. I'm really excited for...
Morning. Just gonna walk through the frame, sorry.
Oh,
Am I up?
your butt's in it. That's right. I'm really excited for this to be over. It's really hard, like, living in a space while you're working in it, especially when it's something like this, because it's just a pain in the ass. I've probably done the shittest job possible, the quickest job possible. I've just gone to the areas that really needed it and done it, but looking at all the wood in here, it could all be done. But that's just not going to happen at the moment because it's just so freaking hard while all your shit's in here. Oh, I'm getting over it. It's just such a small space, and when you add a construction site to it, it plays with your head. We've tried really hard not to damage the wood, but there's a massive oil stain. That's oil that I'm gonna have to resand off. And then this bench has just got tiny little dots. I don't even know what from. Anyway, I'm just gonna hand sand, or try and hand sand some of this stuff off. It's still... I might just have to plug in the electric sander. So I'm going to start off with the galley first, because hopefully by the time I start doing all the other things, that will be dry enough for me to do a second coat. And I want that to be functional first. So going to start there. Alright, let's do it. I'm using Feast Watson Exterior Stain and Varnish. Hopefully it's alright. I guess we'll find out and see. Also, it is another scorcher of a day. It is just so humid. I'm sweating, just hot. That is a bonus. What am I doing? I need to get a screwdriver to open the tins. Oh, you could probably see my dodgy sanding. And varnish. Here we go. What I might do after this coat, because it's like a little bit dark, I might go and grab a clear varnish to do the second coat. Yeah. I'm gonna go and get clear varnish. I'll be back when I have clear varnish. Oh my gosh. That took so much longer than expected. Finally have it. Just got like high gloss, clear timber. It's marine varnish, so it was an extra $10. Seriously, whenever they put the word marine onto something, expect to pay $10 to $20 more than your normal stuff. Do this. I need a brush, Oh, you know what? I've got a huge ass brush and a tiny can. How is this gonna work? But I didn't leave the other brush in Terps, so it's now horrible and dry. I'm such an idiot.
Oh, number 3. Coating the kitchen.
It's
Hey-o.
Friday night. I'm
Oh.
gonna coat the kitchen with some varnish. Oh yeah. It's nothing I'd rather do on a Friday night. Friday nights. Varnish and beer.
What's your technique? So you dip it?
Dip, 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 dip. And
Yep. Oh.
smear, 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 smear. And we are done. Let's roll the before and afters. Peanut?
Yeah.
Oh. You could have got that. Oh, nice, babe. I'll throw one just in front of you. Ready?
Right.
Try. Thanks for watching, guys. Make sure you celebrate my 23rd birthday with us. We get the boat down to Trial Bay where I go behind bars.